Hey boys and girls, the Junkman here, and if you're watching this video, you obviously have volume 2 of my DVD detailing series. So this is a special treat for those of you all who donated to a brother, which I really appreciate, and I purchased this DVD. These videos will not be going to YouTube, so you folks are getting information that other folks ain't getting. How about that? What I'm going to talk about in this particular video is applying paint protection. That would be your wax. Now, there's basically 2, or you can maybe call them 3 types of waxes. You have your sealant, which is your longest lasting protection. You have your Carnauba paste wax, which is your second longest lasting protection. And then I put everything else into this third category of products that I don't use, which are like your spray-on waxes, your quick waxes. They don't last but maybe 2 weeks. You know, the protection ain't long as compared to a Carnauba paste, which can last anywhere in the neighborhood of 3 months or longer depending on what you use, or sealant, which could last anywhere in the neighborhood of 6 months, depending on what you use. Of course, and this is a very important thing that you have to take into consideration when you read the label and a given product says, this sealant lasts X amount of time. If your car is parked in the dead of summer outside in Arizona where it's 120 degrees in the shade, and that sun is just beaming down on your car compared to some guy in Massachusetts who's got his car tucked away in a garage under a nice climate controlled situation with a car cover, you two folks are going to get 2 completely different results. That's why I don't like it when manufacturers say a certain product, certain wax will last X amount of time, because it completely depends on your situation. I mean, I wash my car 2-3 times a week. Well, I'm washing wax off the car every time I do that. Somebody that doesn't wash their car but once a month and keeps it in the garage, they got a garage queen. That wax is gonna last forever on their car. So it really depends on your situation. I drive my car every day. One thing I don't have is a garage queen. To me, I look at cars like this. Buying a sports car or a really nice car with all kinds of really nice features, rad comforts and all that stuff. Buying a car like that and then putting it in your garage and never driving it is like marrying Halle Berry and make her sleep in another room. You know what I mean? That's the same mindset I have. When I croak, trust me, if I was married to Halle Berry, when I croak, the next guy, he gonna get some used Halle Berry, okay? Same with my car. I got 143,000 miles on my vet. I drive that thing every chance I get. It is not a garage queen. It gets damaged, rock chips and everything. It ain't nothing a little paint can't fix. Just take the bumper off, paint it again. Bam, you're back to new. So that's the way I look at it. I drive my car. So if you are like me and you put some wear and tear on your car, the wax is going to last a lot less compared to someone who's driving a garage queen. It only brings it out, the third Saturday of every month for 2 hours. Okay, so keep that in mind when you look at a bottle and it says this wax will last X amount of time. So keep that in mind. All right, the 2 types of waxes that I said that I use are sealants and Carnauba paste. Now here's the deal. As a novice, you really want to get good at one first before you start stacking wax, because the more stuff you stack on top of your paint, the more opportunity there is for you to screw up the shine, because you get it all clouded up with all that stuff you put on top of you put it on there wrong. So it's best to I would say start with a Carnauba paste, because sealants are harder to work with. Start with a Carnauba paste, and I'm going to demonstrate a Carnauba paste in this video. It's a wipe on, and whatever you do, you don't let that stuff dry. or you'll need a chisel to get it off. So you wipe it on, and if I was to say a size area, I would say a 3 feet by 3 foot area. 3 feet by 3 feet, or 3 foot by 3 foot area. That's big enough. You wipe it on there, get good even coverage, stand there, look at it about that long, and then start wiping it off. I mean, that's how you have to do a Carnauba paste, because you'll know if you lay it on there too long, because when you go to wipe it off, it'll be hard as a brick to get off. You'll be like, oh. Then you'll have to use detail spray to get it off. That's a sign you left it on way too long. So with a Carnauba paste, you wipe it on a section. You don't even want to do a whole door. Don't do a whole door. You know, it depends on the size of your doors. You might do a quarter of the door or a half a door. And then, you know, you step back, you look at it, make sure it's got a nice even covering. You didn't gob it up in one spot, and then you start wiping it off. And that's how I'm going to demonstrate the Carnauba paste. Now, a sealant is a completely different animal. A sealant is a product that has to actually bond, or the word we use is cure. It has to bond to the paint in order to be effective. So here's the way a sealant works. You lay a sealant down in a very thin coat, a very thin coat. If you put it on too thick, it's just going to cloud up and look a mess. So you do very thin coats. Now, most sealants will say use a machine. I've gotten to the point where it's a headache to use a machine. I just do it by hand. Now, there are some sealants, one that I have, this one right here, it's called, it's by High Temp, it's called Midnight Express. Now, this sealant does a couple of different things. It's a correcting sealant. It is a sealant that actually contains polish. Okay, that's one thing. And then on the label it says specially formulated for dark colored cars. Now, I took issue with that. So I called the manufacturer, and notice that I said I called the manufacturer, not some wholesaler, reseller. I went straight to the horse. I called the manufacturer and I said, okay, you claim this stuff is specially made for dark colored cars. How is it specially made for dark colored cars when I put it on a white car and it did not change the color of that paint? Explain. I sit back. Like, wow, I want to hear this. So here's what the guy actually talked to was the son of the chemist. And the chemist who started the company, who makes all their chemicals, this was his son. He told me, he said, that product does contain dye. However, you are not going to, or what he says, what you're going to see is if you have very fine scratches in black paint, they show up as white scratches. We've all seen that. A scratch in black paint looks like a white scratch. He says what this product will do is actually fill in that white and turn it dark. And that is why, because it contains a dye. And that is why we say it's specially formulated for dark colored cars. Well, that made perfectly good sense to me, because when I put this on a white car, the one thing the Junkman don't do is put lipstick on a pig. I fixed that white paint till it was perfect. There was no scratches. What I found out is if there were some scratches in that paint, this product would have shown up in the scratches. Imagine that. So it made sense down to me that I saw no discoloration of the paint because there were no scratches to fill. So they actually make a sealant, High Temp, that makes this product. They actually make a sealant called their Terminator polymer sealant. Terminator polymer sealant. It's HT62, which is a straight sealant. It doesn't have any polish in it. It doesn't have any color mixed in or added to it. It is nothing but a protectant. As compared to this, the Midnight Express, which is a correcting and dyeing sealant. So it contains dye, it contains polish. All right. So I prefer to use a straight sealant, the HT62 Terminator polymer sealant. That's what I prefer to use, because I ain't gonna have any scratches or anything to hide or cover up. That's just not the way I roll. Like I said, that's putting lipstick on a pig to me. It's still a pig. All right. So what I'm going to use now, let me get back to explaining how you apply this sealant. Again, I do mine by hand. I gave up doing it with a machine because it gets all dusty, and plus you can't get the machine in all the cracks and crevices. So I just do it by hand using a applicator. Now, the hand applicators that I use, you can get them from a company called American Buffing. American Buffing. They sell these hand applicators that you can use to apply waxes, sealants, and if you really bold, you can try to polish out some scratches with it, but Brother Junkman ain't gonna sweat that hard. They make these hand applicators in multiple colors. Here's the kicker. They have an orange colored one. The foam, the orange foam on that hand applicator is actually a cutting foam. So you would use that with a polish to hand polish out some scratches. Again, I ain't gonna hand polish. You don't see me hand polishing anything. That's way more work than I care to do. I'm gonna use a machine. However, all the other colors that they have are nothing but just regular foam. It doesn't matter. The red one, the blue one, the yellow one, they're all exactly the same. Only the orange is different. The orange is a cutting. The rest of them are the same. Then they got the black one, which is the one that I show in my video that you use with tire gel. Okay? So that's some really good tidbit of information that you should know. Now, going back to the sealant. I apply it by hand in a very thin coat. Okay? I apply it, I allow it to dry. Now, how long it takes to dry will depend on humidity, temperature, all that stuff. I like to give it about 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. The way you can tell it's dry is if you take your finger and just do a light, gentle swipe, and you get it completely removes the sealant, it's ready to come off the car. It's ready to come off. If it smears, then it still needs to dry. All right. So around 40 minutes, it should be dry. It should be dry. Again, it depends on the weather conditions. Never do it outdoors. Never do it outdoors. Always do it indoors. Definitely don't do it in direct sunlight. Okay. You definitely don't want to do it in direct sunlight. Okay. So you apply the sealant in a very thin coat. Okay. Thin coat. Allow it to dry, and then you wipe it off. I like using the Zano borderless blonde towel. You've seen them in my videos, made by Zano. Best 100% cotton towel on the market, bar none. I like that better than the microfibers. I like it better than any plush towel. The Zano border-free blonde towel. Never can't keep them in stock. Ever since I started talking about them suckers stay out of stock. You got to just check their website every day to see when they come in. And when they come in, bam, you better grab because they're going to be gone quick. That's how good they are. All right. So after I use a hand applicator, red, yellow, blue, it don't matter what color, American Buffing. Once I apply it in a very thin coat, allow it to dry, I then wipe it down with that border-free blonde towel by Zano. And here is the next part that is the most important. You have to allow the sealant to cure for however long the manufacturer says it needs to cure. That means you're not driving the car. That means it's staying in the garage because you don't want it sitting outside. That's why if you have to, your car has to sit outside or you have to do this outside, just stay away from sealants. go to a Carnauba paste. All right. So the car is not going to be driven for that time. It is not going to get washed, wet, or anything during the curing time. The polymer, the Terminator polymer sealant, and the Midnight Express, both of them by High Temp, both require 36 hours to cure. 36 hours to cure. Okay. So once the sealant cures, this is after you apply the thin coat, let it dry, wiped it off, 36 hours worth of curing time. At that point, you come back with a quick detailer and you wipe the entire car down. This removes any excess buildup of the sealant. And you can tell, you can see it, because the paint will look splotchy in color. That's where you've had too much sealant. It'll actually look splotchy. It shows up better on some cars than it does on others. I know it shows up real good on my navy metallic blue on my Vet. So that's what applying too much sealant does. So using a quick detailer again, a waffle weave towel, waffle weave. You're gonna wet the waffle weave. I never spray it on the car. I spray it on the towel, and then I'll start wiping the entire car down. At that point, and at that point only, are you ready to do one of two things. You can apply a second coat of sealant, or you can apply a Carnauba paste wax. Now, here's why I apply a sealant and then a Carnauba paste wax. The curing time is 36 hours. If I apply 2 coats of sealant, I'm looking at 72 hours of time that I can't drive the car. I can't do nothing with the car. 72 hours. Drives me crazy. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to apply 2 coats of sealant. I want plenty of protection, so what I do is I follow that sealant with the Carnauba paste wax. That gives me 2 layers of protection, but that second layer goes on a heck of a lot quicker and comes off a heck of a lot quicker. Okay? It's basically wipe on, wipe off. That's the great thing about a sealant, or about a Carnauba paste. So that's why I do it that way. That's why I start with a sealant, end with a Carnauba paste. And this is very important, a sealant must be the first product that you put on paint when it comes to protection. After you've polished all the damage out of the paint, after your paint is perfect, sealant goes on before anything else protection related. Okay, so that's why the sealant goes on first, you allow it to cure, then you top it off with the Carnauba paste. All right, so that's why I do it that way. That's pretty much how you do it. And I'm going to give you a demonstration of the Carnauba paste, because that's going to be the most critical one. If you leave it on, like I said, if you leave it on too long, you're going to know it, because it's going to be a bear to get off. So I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of that. So let me get the camera set up, and we'll take it from there. Okay, boys and girls, I've got you zoomed in on the section of the hood, or the, as you all call it in the UK, the bonnet that I'm going to be working on. I've done half this hood already. So I'm gonna start from the tip here. I'm gonna go up to about halfway to the hood. I'm gonna come over. To there's a design in the hood here, a crease. So that's the size area that I'm gonna do. And again, I'm using a Carnauba paste wax. I'm actually using something that someone from the UK sent me. One thing I want to say about you guys in the UK, especially those of you who are watching this video and who have taken the time and the expense to purchase these, mad props to you guys. If I was a millionaire, I would definitely fly over there and just do a detailing clinic just for you all, just to show my appreciation, because you guys when I say overseas, I'm talking everywhere. Denmark, Norway, Australia, UK, Paris, France, you know, all those places over there. Argentina. Now, is that over there? I don't think that's over there. But everybody across the big pond, as I like to call it, I really appreciate you all's support. So bringing you all something special here. All right, here I go. This is assuming that my sealant has been applied, allowed to dry, wiped it off. I allowed it to cure. It's 36 hours. I came back down and wiped it off again, wiped the car down again, and I make sure that I am on a perfectly clean, dust-free car. That is very important because you don't want any scratches showing up in the paint. So here I go. I'm going to start applying my sealant. Now, you're going to hear 50 million things about you should go in straight lines, you should do that. If your paint ain't dirty, it don't matter what direction you go in unless your applicator's dirty. All right? So if there's no dirt on the paint, no dirt in your Carnauba paste, no dirt on your applicator, you go any direction you want to. This is not what causes swirls. It's rubbing dirt into the paint that causes swirls, okay? So, here I go again. I done said that like 3 times, didn't I? All right, so I'm going to start. I'm going to go up halfway here. And then I'm going to come here. And then I'm going to come over, because I got plenty of this stuff. And get the front lip there. And I'm pulling product from one side over here. I'm rubbing it in, making sure the coverage is even. All right. And you don't want to gunk this stuff on. So it's still moving around. I'm still trying to get a nice good coverage. Okay. Let me see if you all can see that. Yeah, you can see that. All right, watch this. I got my Zano borderless blonde here. Zano borderless blonde. By the way, the one of my favorite Carnauba paste waxes is the Colonite 845 Super Double Coat. It's one of my favorites. Now, okay, I'm ready to wipe this stuff off. That was long enough right there, okay? It should come off easy if you wiped it off in time. So here I go. Yes. It's coming off perfect. Yes. I could have actually wiped this off even sooner. Okay, so I've got it off. Now I'm going to flip my towel over. And wipe that off. Make sure I get this lip. Okay. Now what I want to do is I'm going to bring you in and let you see. I'm going to flip this one more time. Do one more wipe down. I'm going to go through quite a few towels applying sealants and wiping them off and applying Carnauba paste wax and wiping it off. Okay. I'm going to bring you all in and let you see what the paint looks like. And we're going to see if you can tell the difference where I worked at and where I didn't. All right, so here we go. Flip my viewfinder around. Make sure I have enough cord. Okay, I was going to try to put the light in there, but not going to be able to do that. Here's the front edge of the car. I put sealant all the way to here. And then up here, I did not. So now you tell me if you can see a difference. I'm trying to get a little bit of light in there to help you out. You tell me that you can see a difference. And I'm gonna tell you, if you can, you blind as a bat. Because there ain't no difference. And the reason why is because I corrected this paint before I put the lipstick on it. Because I don't put lipsticks on a pig. I should say I don't put lipstick on a pig. All right? And that's why the paint looks like it does. As a matter of fact, let me flip these lights around just a little bit so that I can stir into the light. See here, I'm gonna get them not too bright. There we go, right there. And now I'm bringing you across the paint. Here we go. Here we go. As you can see, there ain't a scratch anywhere. Ain't a scratch anywhere. That's how I like to roll. When you can get down in there like that, look at that. Make that paint perfect. And then you put lipstick on it. That's what I call my Carnauba paste, lipstick. And I don't put lipstick on a pig. All right? And then let me show you a different light. Check this light out. Light in the ceiling. Let's walk it across the paint. Let me get in there close. Walk it across the paint. Standing on the cord. Only thing you can see is that pretty pearl that's in the paint. Look at it sparkle. That's all you see. All right? Let me see how close I can get. Can't get too close. All right. So let me get you back on the tripod and let's conclude this. So there you have it, boys and girls. Pretty much that's the way I apply protection to my car. I always use a sealant first. Allow that sealant to cure. Wipe it down after it cures. And then I apply my Carnauba paste wax. Again, you'll get people that say, well, you shouldn't wipe in circles or you should wipe in straight lines. You ask them why. You ask them to explain why you should do it that way. Well, you won't cause swirls. No, then you correct them. You go, no, you won't cause swirls if there's no dirt on your paint to swirl the paint. What do you think causes the paint damage? It's the dirt on the paint. You grinded it into the paint. That's what causes the damage. So if there's no dirt on the paint, there's no dirt on your medium that you're going to apply with, you ain't going to make no paint damage. I mean, it's that simple. It's common sense, folks. Nothing but common sense. And y'all know, a brother in his garage production, we don't fake the funk. That's the way we get out. Common sense. If you can't explain it in a way that a 10-year-old understands it, then you don't understand it yourself. I'm a firm believer of that. If you truly understand something, you can explain it so a 10-year-old can understand it. All right? So that's why my videos are popular like they are, because I break it down. Brother breaks it down. I got to break it down to my level where I understand it, okay? Because I ain't trying to be portraying that I'm some kind of rocket scientist, because I am not a rocket scientist, okay? So, all right, so that's pretty much it. I'm about to set up and do another video. So, again, those of you who are watching this DVD, Volume 2, you're in for a treat. The next thing I'm going to do is a little wet sand. So, until then, boys and girls, this is the Junkman, shining out.